Hey, what's going on, guys? Tony here from For the Corps. Today I'm going to talk to you about what to expect at Marine Corps Boot Camp. Now, I get asked this question quite often, and the thing I tell people is don't expect much, right? What you should expect is it to be difficult, challenging, hard. I mean, you're going to be put in so many different uncomfortable situations, and it's just stressful and chaotic, you know what I mean? I'll share some stories later on in this video, but don't go in there expecting it to be sunshine and rainbows. It's not easy. It's not designed to be fun. You're not going to be high-fiving your drill instructors and being best friends with them and sitting around telling stories and shit. But rather, you're going to be getting destroyed by them. Like, they're there to instill discipline and make you a basically trained Marine. So looking back on it, I mean, there's a lot of funny stories, a lot of goofy shit we had to do. And I mean, it's almost comical in a sense, but I'm sitting here today and I would tell you, I would honestly go through it right now if I had the opportunity to. You know, if I had the option to go join the Marine Corps again and I had to go through basic training, I would do it 100% in a heartbeat. So, you know, I'm not going to sit here in front of you today and try and scare you or deter you or make you change your mind of joining the Marine Corps, but rather just give you a little insight what to expect. When I joined in 2010, wasn't a whole lot of information out there, guys. I relied on the guys who went in before me, some friends of mine, and I mean, I would ask them like, yo, what's it like, man? What do I expect? And they would just say, look, dude, expect to be screamed at all the time, right? There's gonna be someone in your face and you're gonna be screaming like you've never screamed before, and it's difficult, but you know, they'd always tell me like, look, you're not gonna understand what to fully expect until you actually go through it and experience it firsthand. So there's plenty of content out here on YouTube now. Like, there wasn't videos about boot camp back then when I was going in. I relied on the Marines.com website. So for you guys now, there's so many resources out there. Get on YouTube, read some forums, get on Reddit, ask me questions, and you know, just go in there with an open mind. Like, the three things I tell people: go in there with an open mind, embrace the suck, give 110%. You'll be fine, right? Don't be that guy who goes in there and just gaffs it off and, you know, falls out of all the runs and doesn't push themselves, you know, just constantly gives up at any little bit of pressure, or, you know, they just fold like a lawn chair. Don't be that guy, because the drill instructors are going to weed you out. They're going to freaking make your life hell. But at the end of the day, the only people you're screwing over is your whole platoon, right? In boot camp, it's all about mass punishment. There's no one person getting singled out. You know, and if you're a squad leader or the guide, you know, if somebody messes up, most likely you're paying for it on the quarterdeck with them, right? So don't take things personally, right? We used to have a drill instructor. He would just be destroying us. We'd be doing push-ups and holding our rifles above our head for what seemed like hours, but it was only minutes, you know, but you're just so fatigued and everything's just so chaotic. He would always just tell us like, look, it ain't personal, it's just business. And we would be screaming that shit back to him. He'd have us screaming it back and forth. And at the time, it didn't really click. But looking back on it, that's just his job. His job is to make our lives hell. He's just there to make us a basically trained Marine. So they don't hate you. They're not there to beat up on you. But they're just there to push you guys mentally and physically. So for most of you, it's going to be the most difficult thing you've ever had to go through. In my case, it was the most challenging thing I had ever done. But you're going to look back on it, it's going to be extremely rewarding, and you're going to look back and think of some of the shit they had you do, and you're just going to laugh. So one story in particular, and I'm sure you've heard about the bathroom breaks. Not many of them, because you're always on the move, and you're holding your bladder for quite a while, so get used to that. But when we would have to go to the bathroom in a porta-john, you're not getting to go in there and lock the door behind you, right? There's going to be like 4 to 6 dudes in there with you. So when I was in, I think the most we ever had was like 6 or 7 guys in a porta-john. And I mean, half the time you can't even pee because you don't even have enough room to undo your belt and buttons, right? So guys would be like pissing themselves, they'd be pissing on the walls, and they just would be pissing all over each other. Showers aren't pleasant. You know, you're not getting to go in there and turn the water on to your nice little hot level and get to take a nice comfortable shower like you probably do in the Navy, Air Force, or Army. But rather, I mean, they turn that shit to cold, and you're all wagon wheeling in there together, right? You get a little drop of body wash in your hand and they're screaming at you, and you're just kind of running through the shower, getting what little bit of water on you can and getting clean that way. So you take a lot of that stuff for granted. You know, when I got out, I looked forward so much to just a nice warm shower at my own pace. You guys are gonna have a good time, right? It's difficult, it's challenging, it's all the things that I've said, but at the end of the day, remember the 3 things I told you, and you're gonna get through it, you're gonna earn that title, and you're gonna feel like you're on top of the world. It's gonna be one of the greatest decisions you've ever made, and it's gonna be one of the most rewarding things you've ever earned. So that's what it's all about in boot camp. Also, you know, if you're one of these people who are selfish and only think about yourselves, like I said, it's mass punishment. So if you want to just half-ass everything and not give 110% like everybody else, you're going to pay for it, but everybody else is going to pay for it. So you're going to lose that selfishness real quick. And I mean, that's the gist of boot camp, guys. It's not a great time by any means. It's long, and you'll get through it. So I don't know, this is just an old Marine Corps veteran talking to you guys, but share your stories below, guys. Talk to me about your time in boot camp. You know, if you're getting ready to leave for boot camp, if you're about to ship out, you know, ask me some questions, share some stories. This channel's for you. And again, I'm Tony. This is For the Corps. Semper Fi.